Candace Owens officially attacks Erika Kirk. To the conservatives still remaining silent on Candace, shame on you. To people like Tucker who host Candace Owens at her birthday holiday party and photos of her, you are complicit. Okay, so let's see. I have not heard this yet, okay? So let's hear what she has to say.
My toxic trait is that I want to know why rappers like The Game are asking more meaningful questions about the death of Charlie Kirk than his close friends over at Turning Point USA, because The Game just dropped his song. It's Friday. And he asks the question explicitly, who killed Charlie Kirk? And on that same note, Blake Neff of Turning Point USA has now come out and said that it was Erika that directed them to have this live stream. And so now I want to know, like, did she sign off on that letter where, like, we are getting now referred to as Antifa because we won't stop asking questions about what happened on 9/10? Did she direct that, like, very insincere, he uses the word direct, insincere offer for me to come join them in a live stream? I need answers to all these questions. Plus, boys wearing maroon, too many of them on the day of 9/10. We're going to get into all that. Join us by hitting the link below.
So to me, I mean, yeah, she did name drop Erika there, and she, like, a subtle jab at Erika, but, like, I don't think that's anything worse than what she's already done. She's already done that. She's already indirectly accused Erika Kirk. She hasn't said her name per se, but Erika Kirk runs Turning Point USA. She has accused Turning Point of being complicit in the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Erika runs Turning Point, meaning she has directly accused her in the most indirect way possible. The bottom, like, the way I view things like this is that the market determines the market. That's always been my philosophy on everything. If people support it, then it deserves to get whatever it gets. I think that it's crazy to me that so many people actually believe anything that Candace says. I think that there's a lot of people that watch Candace for the entertainment value because it comes off as like a true crime, like a fucking reality TV mystery show. And that's fascinating to a lot of people. I've never been the biggest, like, true crime fan of, like, shows and things like that, but whatever. But I guess, like, you look at, like, all of the people that have gained prominence in the last couple of years with the anti-Israel crowd and all the stuff that they spew. People believe all that shit too. They just eat it up. And so it's like, okay. I mean, and then you've got, like, the Ian Carrolls of the world. Apparently right here, Ian Carroll says Candace can't travel to Phoenix because it's her husband's birthday. Candace Owens last July. It has been a great week. It was America's birthday and it was my husband's birthday. Huh. Well, isn't that interesting?
Guys, happy Monday. I hope you enjoyed the holiday weekend. I certainly did. We baptized baby Roman. It was my husband's birthday and it was America's birthday. So it was just a good weekend of family fun.
And again, this Ian Carroll guy has just been spewing nonsense and people believe it. They just eat it up. They're just like, oh yeah, man. This Ian Carroll guy, he's saying Jews bad, so he must be right about everything. So how can I be mad at Candace when she's got millions of people that are supporting everything she says? You know, it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game type of thing. Erika Kirk should be taking Candace on head first, but instead she's sitting back in the shadows. Nick Fuentes is taking on Candace head on, and he's getting a ton of traction for it.
I just can't stand it anymore. I have absolute Candace Owens fatigue. I think the country is so sick and tired of her. It's not even smart. It's just dumb. It's just dumb and malicious. And, you know, and I'm sick of hearing about it. So I can't wait until one of these people sues her. She really deserves it. She's got it coming. And I'm hesitant to say that because I'm close friends with Alex Jones and I hate to see Alex going through it. But at this point, it's like, this is, and by the way, I'm going to say this also, as somebody in the information space, this is hurting all of us. And I'm not saying, oh, it's violence or whatever, but I'm saying we're in a moment where we need truth tellers. We need people that are going to leave no stone unturned. We need people that are going to bring alternative narratives about what's happening in the world. And she is hurting us in two ways. One, she makes us all look crazy. How? Because there's all the difference in the world between.
What's so funny about this is Fuentes does the same thing. Fuentes is so talented. He's such a good communicator, and he is very smart. He's his own worst enemy. He's his own worst enemy.
Between looking at Open Secrets, the website, and looking at which billionaires are giving which politicians money. There's all the difference between looking at these patronage networks and who's being funded by who and which media companies are being funded by who. That's one thing. It's another thing to say, I've had visions. I'm having visions and dreams of beekeepers and Egyptian aircraft. That's totally insane. And for her to concoct this conspiracy going back to the French Revolution, and it's about Project Paperclip and MK Ultra and the Stanford prison experiment, and it's about Egypt and France and Macron and Charlie Kirk and this, and you're just making all of us look totally insane. You're a kook. And by the way, this is a real strategy. Cass Sunstein created this. Cass Sunstein worked in the Obama administration. He wrote and I believe he's from Harvard. He's from one of the Ivy Leagues. He wrote a paper about this. He said the way to destroy conspiracy theorists, it's not to debate them, it's not to debunk them, it's to make them look dumb by flooding the zone with crazy stuff. And so, for example, with 9/11, you've got very real evidence there. You've got the dancing Israelis, you've got the art students, you've got the text message that went out to all the Israelis. Like, you've got some real things that warrant attention. But then you have people saying the planes were holograms. Then you have people saying things like that, and they make you look crazy. That's one. Two is, in a media environment, when everybody is clamoring for censorship and to suppress disinformation, what do you think this does to those arguments? Because 10 years ago, I would say I'm a free speech absolutist. How could you censor the truth? If you're censoring it, it means it's true. Here we are 10 years later. You've got this psycho. She's getting millions of views, and she's literally deputizing her followers to...
Fuentes talking about Candace sounds like Ben Shapiro talking about Fuentes. Just calling a spade a spade.
Like, look at all the people in the audience, college students, like some kid in Turning Point. Find this person, find his name, interrogate. Like, that is actually reckless. It is actually reckless. There's a responsible way to do that, and then there's an irresponsible way when you just start throwing things out without evidence, whipping your followers up into a frenzy that they're fighting some satanic...
This is literally what the Ben Shapiros of the world have been saying about Fuentes for years. I don't know what Fuentes' angle is right now, but what I think his angle is to take on Candace because no other prominent people are. Now I know you got Tim Pool in the quartering doing it now, but like I feel like Fuentes is trying to get, to be the... Well, I know what his angle is. His angle is to be the new Charlie Kirk. That's 100% what he's doing. But for anybody that knows anything about Fuentes, and I'm not an expert on the guy, but I'm smart enough to know that the things you're saying right now about Candace are the same things that Con Inc. have been saying about Fuentes. Silence him. He's getting all of his followers riled up. He's making us all look crazy. He's taking credibility away. These are the things that the Shapiros of the world said about him just a few years ago.
Conspiracy, and that's why they need to go and look at this private individual or this student that asked a question. That's reckless. It's reckless and irresponsible in the way you're treating this process. It's not rigorous. It's not rigorous. There's no sense of responsibility for society.
He's not wrong about Candace, though. No, he's not. And that's the genius of what he's doing. It's the genius. He's 100% right. Everything he's saying about Candace is right. And a lot of people are going to hear that, and this is going to be their first introduction to him. And he knows that because he is very smart.
And it bolsters arguments that we shouldn't have complete free speech. It actually fortifies those arguments because How many times do you think this nonsense will be cited in a future congressional hearing about why we can't have free speech on YouTube or why we can't have free speech on Twitter? It hurts all of us. And even with regard to the Jewish conspiracy, it doesn't help that we're trying to articulate a very clear idea of what's going on, which is that you have something like a state within a state. Jews are a transnational nation. They live across borders, and they are represented by something like a state. The organized Jewry is like a government of all the Jews in the world. And so the way they operate in the United States and Israel, it's like a state within a state. It'd be like if China was able to call on with authority all the Chinese people in America. You would say, well, maybe not every Chinese person will heed the call, but if the powerful ones do, it might be a problem. Like, we're trying to articulate something, I think, very supportable like that. And she comes in and says, no, it's the Stanford prison experiment and MK Ultra and Project Paperclip and the Frankists and the French Revolution. And you're like, yeah, you're making us look crazy. You're making us look like idiots. So I continue to believe this is like this little tear that she's been on. It has been one of the most damaging things to our side. People are always asking me, how do you feel about your generational run? How do you feel that everyone's red-pilled now? I think I'm always waiting for the next shoe to drop. That's how I feel. And I'm always worried that it's going to go too far. People are going to get carried away. And we're going to invite a pendulum swing back in the other direction. And I think that's what she's doing. And it's not good. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm going to leave it there, but I think that he is 100% right about Candace. Candace, she's got people talking, and there's no Charlie Kirk to battle it. What Nick is good at is not being obvious about the fact that he knows that he is the person that stands to benefit the most. And I don't mean this in a negative way, because I think Nick was genuinely upset over the Charlie Kirk assassination. I think every single person was, but and I don't mean this in a bad way, but when Charlie Kirk was assassinated, Charlie Kirk was his rival. Charlie Kirk had a ton of these younger voters that he, was, talking to on a daily basis. And there's nobody else in the conservative movement to fill that void except for Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes fills that. And Nick knows that. He's not stupid, but he doesn't want to make it obvious that he knows it. But he needs to shift a little bit from that immature way that he used to do things. And it seems like that's what he's doing. He's a very, very smart dude. And he knows, I mean, you don't get to where he's at without knowing what you're doing and being very, very methodical in the process. The dude has been mega canceled, and now he's the hottest thing on the internet from the conservative sphere. He was just on with Steven Crowder. He was on with Tucker Carlson. He was on with Patrick Bet-David. He's going on with Piers Morgan. He's everywhere. He just ratioed Elon Musk to hell on Twitter, which, I'll be honest, I'm not sure I believe it, but let me show you that. I mean, he ratioed the living fuck out of Elon Musk to the point where Elon apparently hid his comment. Thank God. I was starting to worry that Nick Fuentes might be anti-Semitic. So this is where Steven Crowder kind of goes through and says, do you hate all Jews? No. Do you this? No. Okay. Elon responds, he's a Fed. Elon gets community noted. All right. And then Fuentes responds, where's it at? It's not even there now. So you go back to Fuentes' account, and there it is. But I couldn't find it in the replies. 103,000 likes on Elon Musk's response. But if you click Elon Musk's reply, no response from Fuentes. You can't find it. It's not there. The reply is not there. So it's very weird. No, I know you can't find it. You have to actually go to Nick Fuentes' profile to find it. And so I'm like, what's up with that? So anyway, we'll see what happens. But either way, you can dislike Fuentes all you want. You can think he's whatever. It doesn't really matter. The dude is here to stay. He ain't going nowhere. And he's smart as hell. And he is leading a generation of young people right now. He absolutely is.